अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम टू NICAT। आज का हमारा सेशन है कॉर्पोरेट बिजनेस गवर्नेंस पे बाय मिस्टर हसन रज़ा सैयद। ओके सर, सर द फ्लोर इज़ योर्स।
Can I speak from here?
Yes.
This is a very important topic for any country. Corporate and business governance. Basically, we talk about business governance. Corporate governance basically is a resource allocator. So what I'll do is, first of all, go to the next one and give you the basics. What does a person who is a chief executive or the board require? inside of a company, then they should be very good at the oversight, and then they should have the foresight. Now, if you ask me, how will I evaluate a chief executive? I'm not going to evaluate him by the elegance of his wardrobe or the amount of cigars he smokes. I am going to evaluate him what he does with this shareholder value. If he cannot increase the shareholder value, get rid of it. You don't need it. The second thing he is responsible for is sustainability. Whether he has put in the policies, put in the things, put in the human resources, put in the plans, and probably has made it into a very strategic focused organization to provide you with that. Oh my. Sustainability. He has to make sure that he can sustain the company for the future. The third thing, he must be able to build future competitive advantage. If you were to ever evaluate a chief executive or a board, these are the three things. Have they increased the enterprise value? And by virtue of the enterprise value, have they increased the shareholder value? Have they been able to put in place the products, the geographical areas and all that, which makes the company sustainable? And the third thing is this, that what has he done to give you that rare competitive advantage which many companies have, like Intel. I worked for Intel. I knew how did they build their competitive advantage. I'll give you a little talk on that. But this is what I would, many people would assess a chief executive on. Any questions on this? Now, I've written down over there insight, oversight, foresight. When you are a member of the board of directors, you probably have 3 or 4 board of director meetings in a year. You don't know what has gone on. So you have to get the insight. And how do you get the insight? By asking proper questions. Who do you ask these proper questions to? To the finance guy, the corporate guy, the chief executive. And by your questions, I hope you can determine that the chief executive is not glossing things over and taking you on another side. So you have to be very good at questioning to get to the inside of the company. By virtue of that insight, you can have the oversight of the company. And then the third thing for a board or for a chief executive is the foresight. Where he is going to take the company to. So those are very important things. अभी आप basics में कोई आपको any question, anything? किसी का? You have? It's okay? All good.
So one question. So what are the key parameters for an oversight for a board of directors? What areas should we be looking at?
Every area. Each and every area. A company is an integrated whole. Let's talk about one thing. What is a chief executive? He's got finance department, he's got human resource department, he's got design department, he will have his fabrication department. आप उसको ले लें as an orchestra. There are violins, there are percussion instruments. Now he has to play them to create that harmony. How he plays them. That's why, whenever the institution remains the same, but when you change the chief executive, suddenly things start working. You know, it's that recipe he has, or the recipe of that board, which does that. And that's why he's paid a lot of money, you know. He may not be the smartest guy in town, but he knows how to do it. So उसमें सारी चीजें आपको देखनी पड़ेंगी. And you'll have to see what are the things which are combining each other and where the things are not performing. You must have very good management information systems. I mean, I don't know, I think आप करते हैं, corporate का काम करते हैं. उसमें I do not see in our balance sheets one thing, which is management discussion and analysis, MDA. Usually that should be there. That management discussion and analysis tells you what the management is going to do, what mistakes they have made, where they are at, and what they want to do. I don't see that in our balance sheet. I think this is something which I am trying to get SECB to make a compulsory thing. There should be a management discussion and analysis, a sort of a review of what they have done and where they want to go. That's something that is also needed in our balance sheet. Any other questions? Okay, absolutely essential. Mission, vision, and clear objectives of the corporation and business. Now, a lot of times we do not have a clarity of where we are going. Now, where do we get our objectives from? If I come over here and say, मैंने कल $10 million बनाए हैं, अब मैं $11 million बनाऊँ. That's not, that could be an objective, yes. But is it the real objective? The only way you can come up with a clear objective is if you do the competitive analysis in the business which you are in. Whether you are going to be alright with 5% increase in revenue, whether you are going to be alright with 20% increase in the revenue. Whether the market share is important or whether it is not important. Whether this market is growing or it is shrinking. Whether it's a cash cow or is it just going to have lots of money coming in. So the clarity of the objectives are based on your competitive and sectoral analysis. And you must do a very robust analysis to come up to your objectives. Now, why do you need an objective? ये आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव आ गया यहाँ पे, ठीक है? आप यहाँ पे स्टैंड कर रहे हैं, right? You are here. I0. You are here. This objective of I. Now, how you get there is a very big terminology, but it's a very simple thing. It's strategy. How you get there? Now, how you get there depends upon what? Your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. And why do you want to get here? Is your competitive analysis. You want to know that your competitor is there. Maybe you want to get there. Because the competitor is doing something else. So, you need to know, and this becomes your objective. After this objective हो गया, and you have done your SWOT analysis and you have come up with your strategy, then you will do a strategic plan. But before you do a strategic plan, you must have your structure in line with your strategy. Example, if you are in a business where it is marketing oriented business, Your strategy will be that you are going to be capturing market. Then your marketing department structure is going to be different. If you are a cost-conscious company, then your controller will have more to say. Your structure is going to be more towards the cost orientation. So structure must always follow strategy. Whenever you do a structure and you try to make a strategy out of an existing structure, you will fail. This is being tried many, many times. Then you have competitive forces analysis. This is used basically to find out what industry, what sort of rate of return you can get on an industry. And if any of you has done the MBA's Porter's 5 forces analysis, I can just, if you don't know, I can just quickly go over there. Any industry has 5 forces. One is competitiveness in the industry. One is exit barrier. Entry barrier. Supplier power. Buyer power. I'll give you an example. Take the airline industry. Airline industry के बीच में क्या है? There are 2 suppliers of airlines, Airbus and Boeing. They just charge you the money. They don't charge you profit. They look at your balance sheet and price the things. The second part you use in the airline industry is petrol. वहाँ पे आपको OPEC. Supplier power is very high. This industry never makes money. Buyer power क्या है? You have 5 million ticket agents. So you don't have any power on them. There are too many. When you buy a plane or hundreds of planes, you spend $2 billion or $10 billion. Exit barrier is very high for you. You don't want to leave $2 billion on the table and get out. Entry barrier is also high to enter this market. This aerospace market has never paid money back. Now let's look at computer industry. Computer industry, उसमें ये कंप्यूटर मेकर्स हैं और ये आपका Intel, Windows and Intel, Microsoft and Intel. अगर इतनी profit है, so these guys are making this much profit because they have supplier power. These are called Porter 5 forces. So you have to make sure कि आपकी competitive forces analysis आपने सही तरीके से की हैं and you're fully aware of what is going on. Then you will make your organization structure according to that. Then you will have strategic plans. This is the job of the board. Strategic plans are plans made out over a period of 10 years. Important with the strategic plan is the financial plan. How are you going to finance whatever actions you want to take? Now, what used to happen was in the old days was you made a strategic plan, you made a financial plan, but you could not connect it to the action plan. And that's where the Harvard Business School, Robert Kaplan came up with a balanced scorecard. And balanced scorecard is one of the finest things which has happened to connect these two. उस पे कैसे इसको साफ कैसे करते हैं? So the balanced scorecard helps you, because if you are to do anything, it has to be a strategy-focused organization. And then there has to be alignment all the way through. Now, what happens is chief executive and board say something else, the functional managers are doing something else, the lower down are doing something else, nobody knows what the hell is going on. At the end of the day, you look at your results and you say, where you have gone wrong, you don't know. If you are a strategic focused organization, you are aligned. Balanced scorecard makes you aligned. Now, when I was working in Intel, we didn't have balanced scorecard at that time. So what did we do? We do something called OKR. It was objectives, key results. Whenever you went to meet somebody, you had in your mind objectives. What do I want to achieve? And what are the key results which I want to take? I mean, we were trained so much. I'm sorry to say this, but please don't mind me. Whenever I used to go on a date, I used to be thinking objective key results. I mean, we were drilled in Intel so much. इसकी वजह से Intel जो है, वो it got so successful. I was telling क्या कहते हैं ABM Asar, our microprocessor 8080 was far less superior than Motorola's 68000. But we beat the crap out of them because of this. Remember, in life, 95% of the failures of any company is management failures. 5% are product failures. Remember that. I mean, you'll have a product failure if you build a Tonga and put it in front of a plane. It will fail. But 95% of the failure is through the matter. हम क्या करते थे objectives की वजह से? Every Thursday, we would write our charter by hand. Objectives, past week, and what we achieved, and objectives next week. From the president, who was a billionaire, to the peon, we would write it by hand, not cyclostyled. Because everybody, by writing it by hand, knew what he was there for. You continue writing that, you know what you have to do. Okay. So I find this OKR, there's a book out of it. I'll try to present that book to you. There's a friend of mine who wrote that book. He became one of the very big venture capitalists from Sand Hill Road in Palo Alto, California, and he wrote that book, OKR. And OKRs can come right from top all the way down. Objective key results, उसका result इसका objective बन जाता है, उसका result इसका objective बन जाता है, all the way down. So this is क्या कहते हैं up to the action plan. आपके यहाँ पे कोई questions?
Sir, you mentioned at point 3 that after the sector analysis we make the strategy, and subsequent to the strategy comes the structure.
Yeah.
Which will definitely be how the enhanced structure would be to achieve that goal again. And then the strategic plan comes below. So is there some synergy or symmetry between the strategy and the strategic plan?
See, strategic plan is what exactly you're going to do. Right? You have to have a structure in place to be able to make a strategic plan. क्योंकि वही strategic plan जो है ना वो flow down करेगा. तो आपने strategy बना ली, आपने एक lightly क्या कहते हैं traced structure बना लिया होगा. ठीक है ना? Now remember, structure has got to be what you're trying to do. I mean, you just can't make a structure just like that. मैंने जी यहाँ पे एक डब्बा लगा दिया, एक डब्बा इधर लगा दिया, एक डब्बा इधर लगा दिया, एक डब्बा लगा दिया. You have to think. हाँ, organizational design के बीच में you have to think. I've asked AVM, I said, anytime you are going to change any structures and think, please, I'm available for any pro bono help which I can give to this thing to make it a success. And we discussed about SBUs. May I discuss that? But what we talked about was that holding companies and lots of companies. Well, you don't need lots of companies. Lots of companies will mean a lot of work. You will have your own board of directors for every company and all. You'll have filing requirements coming out of your ears. You will have your own balance sheets and all that. Instead, we had a concept of SBUs, strategic business units. What is a strategic business unit? I mean, it is a normal business unit. आप कहते हैं department हो सकता है. But strategic business unit is this particular thing, because you are in such a specialized field. That particular vertical probably needs to have their own strategy. So you make a strategic business unit which will do everything, make their own strategy, do the operation, maybe have their own organization chart, but financially they report to the holding company. You have a holding company which you have, आपकी holding company है ना? Please make sure it's a holding company. इसमें लिख दीजिएगा. Memorandum of Association में make the clause a little bigger. तो ये जो holding company है, ये आपकी various SBUs को. Now what this gives you is independent strategic units with a control. Yeah. It is throwing back to one of the greatest man ever. जिसकी वजह से आज humanity is like this, is Alfred P. Sloan of General Motors, who came up with the divisionalized form of government. उसके नाम पे MIT ने रखा है Sloan School of Management. And his was Chevrolet division, all these divisions were independent divisions with क्या कहते हैं जी financials reporting to the center. It was diversification, but not with क्या कहते हैं total abandonment. It was diversification with control. And by virtue of those division managers, you were able to at that particular time use and have railways of 500,000 people, and you can still control them with that divisionalized form of government. Had he not discovered that, it would have been a mali, but that was the way it was. I suggest that you have these SBUs, you can name them whatever, and then have a reporting system to the holding company. And holding company is the one which has board of directors and all. आपके board of directors होंगे यहाँ पे reporting में. Now I suggest you can also put in some independent board of directors. You always should put in the independent board of directors. Could you imagine that IBM, I want to say something over here. When this Apple computer and all of these Intel and all that started coming out, the business model of computer industry changed. पहले ये होता था कि वो mainframe भी बनाते थे, software भी बनाते थे, peripheral भी बनाते थे, और IBM was the king. I mean, after Second World War, in Germany they only knew 3 English words, IBM. What happened is when these youngsters came up, Intel वगैरह वाले, now what happened is that vertical, mainframe, software, peripherals, that got separated. And IBM didn't know what to do. I mean, they had 300,000 employees, 20,000 PhDs. They couldn't run it. So they got a person whose name was Lou Gessner. And he's written a book, Elephants and Dance. Lou Gessner was from American Express, Harvard Business School, my alumni, Harvard Business School, McKinsey. The only thing he knew about computer was that he once wrote a check of $2 million to buy a computer. That's all. And they put him there and he turned it around. The first day he was there, he asked Bill Gates, and he called up, Andy Grove was my boss at one time. They called him, and Andy Grove and Bill advised him, he turned it So I mean, by good management, you can turn around anything. Yes, I mean that is one of the few places where I see a success without the sectoral experience. Usually you require the sectoral experience. तो ये मेरी आपको वो इसके बीच में. इसमें और कोई आपके questions हैं? Yes.
Sir, my question is, in my understanding, we can make different SBUs instead of making different companies.
That's what I'm saying.
So can we make SBUs by passing simple board resolutions?
Of course, of course.
Fine.
Small business unit belongs to you. You own them 100%.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand this. Difference between a full-fledged company or SPU would be this board different नहीं होगा, it will be the same board.
Same board.
It is autonomous totally. It's got its own
Autonomous. You know, he can have his own advisors, right? We won't call a board of directors. It could be a board of directors. We won't. So what you want to do is, you do not want to get to a position where all of these 20 units are reporting to SEC.
As a matter of fact, these 20 units of 15 they are operationally independent.
This is first class, no problem. But when you are operationally independent, make sure that the financial controls are there.
So that means input will be coming into the holding company, whatever we are selling. So all the procedure will come to holding company.
No, the proceeds and all that will be coming here. But the fact of the matter is, this profitability will go over here.
My point is that they will be having a separate bank accounts, SPU.
Yes, SPU 1, SPU 2, they can have bank accounts and all that, but this will be monitored by the
Central.
मतलब वैसे भी holding company rather than monitoring तभी करनी थी.
we will be monitoring. I'll make the structure for you. But the main thing is this, that financially you should be monitoring here.
So, but last we have a holding company on top.
Yes.
Sir, a holding company on top.
ये होल्डिंग कंपनी है ना आपकी.
इसके बाद एक एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी हो और उसके नीचे ऐसे होगा कि होल्डिंग कंपनी इंडिपेंडेंट आईटी होल्ड करती है और एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी जो है वो आपके लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट्स लाती है.
नहीं, आप इस होल्डिंग कंपनी में, होल्डिंग कंपनी इज होल्डिंग एसेट्स बेसिकली. होल्डिंग इज एसेट मैनेजमेंट.
Doing anything else also, why do you enter the assets here?
नहीं, I mean the holding
एसेट
company,
मैनेजमेंट भी इंडिपेंडेंट करते हैं.
उसमें आपको एक और ओवरले डालना पड़ेगा. ओवरले डालना पड़ेगा. उसकी इस वक्त आपको जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आपको जरूरत बाद में पड़े तो कर लें. But you can, I'll be more than happy to sit with you on the structure of this.
Right.
So that you get the maximum of, they get maximum operational control, but you also get financial control. You don't want to run them right. I mean, ऐसे भी तो नहीं होता ना कि आप independent हैं तो you run right. You have to come up with some business plan. हाँ जी, मैंने ये करना है, बताएं इसकी क्या rate of returns क्या हैं. And then holding company will have some, let's say benchmarks. Okay, look, our hurdle rate is, let's say, 25%. We are not going to go into any investment which is not going to give us 25%. You will have a hurdle rate like that. And that's the way most of the corporations work. Now, this is a perfect structure where you have these businesses. You are a fund allocator.
इसमें थोड़ा सा ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो जाएगा कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट लेके आना है, so now the holding company, they need to have a maybe board of directors meeting and everybody has to agree upon this thing. That okay, should we give that project to them or should not give? So can those SPUs should be independent of such kind of?
देखिए आप उनको जितनी इंडिपेंडेंस देना चाहते हैं दे सकते हैं, जितनी आप उनको भेजना चाहते हैं दे सकते हैं. If you want them to make independent decisions about certain business aspects, you can very well say यार हम अपनी होल्डिंग कंपनीज को इतना लैक्स देना चाहते हैं, हम अपनी होल्डिंग कंपनी को इतना लैक्स नहीं देना चाहते. So it is, the control is with you, and you can have a certain.
Then can you elaborate that once you say I have two kind of opinions. What I am getting from you, but can you elaborate how these SPUs, as you said, the financial control is going to be with the holding company. The financial control is with the holding company. But then you said SPUs they are independent. They can spend. What is meant by that financial control, and what is meant by that
they come up with their own product line. They are independent to make up their own product line. They can have a Chevy engine V8, V6, whatever, that's their job. They are looking at that market which they have been given. That is the market niche, right? Now they come up and they want to say, we want to build one more plant because we feel that this is the way they are. Then they have to do it. But everything else they do is independent.
What is that everything else?
Design, किस किस्म की वो रंग आगे लेके आएंगे, किस किस्म की सीटें होंगी, किसके क्या होगा. That sort of thing is also here.
My point is that means that in all the projects, project level, whatever we want to start a new thing, so that has to be done through our board of directors by the board.
Look, this SBU will do whatever they please over here. They'll come out and give you a small check over there. कि हम ये कर रहे हैं, इसकी financial requirements ये हैं, और इसका hurdle rate इससे ज़्यादा है.
जो आपने benchmark डाला हुआ है,
आप ये okay, very nice. You better make a hurdle rate.
My point is, this thing is to be presented to holding company means that has to be presented to the board of directors.
No, you can make a committee. Of the committee, you can make some committees under it. Not all the board of directors will be sitting all the time. आपने एक कमेटी बना ली, वो 4 SBU को देखेगा, एक कमेटी यहाँ पे बना ली, ऐसा करें. What we will do is
Essentially set limits on. कर सकते हैं कि भाई anything, any investment up to 200 million you do on your own. If you have
because it gives you that flexibility. Because you can always pull it back. You can always pull it back. You can always do it.
Just a basic example, you just gave 3 companies like Ford, Cadillac, and United Machines. So the overall market segment for the three, if it is different, like Ford ventures in trucks, Cadillac ventures in electric cars.
General Motors is a holding company. General Motors के साथ Chevrolet division है, उसके साथ Ford उसका Cadillac division है, उसके साथ उसका Ford truck division है, ठीक है ना? This was the divisionalized structure to give maximum autonomy to the operating units, but still have financial control.
Sir, my only query is based on the relationship between the holding company and the SBU that goes. So the SBU can also shift from one market sector to the other.
If they want to, I mean, supposing Cadillac is right now only in New York. They want to extend their geographical area. Fine. They go ahead and do that. But they're not going to knock off the Chevrolet division because that's not going to be their bailiwick. That is not what they are supposed to be doing.
So if there comes a proposed conflict of the business market being targeted,
there won't be.
It has to be segregated between the
No, there won't be because there is so much interaction. And another thing is this, that you will have to have instituted a very structured form of business meetings. I mean, when you are running a holding company, make sure that you are structured. You're not going to have that you can come meeting karunga, 4 meeting ke baad karunga. They should be there every week, on the dot. Ye hoga, ye hoga, ye hoga. Another thing, you must have some independent board members in the board. Because what happens is कि आप देखें IBM वगैरह के बीच में Condoleezza Rice को रखा हुआ है उन्होंने, nothing to do with the company, but that brings a different thing altogether in there, and that what the whole idea I feel in a board of directors should be that the knowledge should be complementary, not the same knowledge. Somebody is good in cost, somebody is good in creativity, somebody is good in this, somebody is good in that, and you can pull them out from anywhere. And make a very, very nice board. The better board you will have, the better decision making. Sir, any other questions? Please, volley out. Any questions that come to your mind? You should always be worried about the quality of the questions, not the quality of the answers. Okay, I put this together in about 15, 20 minutes, so I didn't do a very thorough job on this one. But these are, the issues are HR issues. Now, I want to be careful when I say this. Previously, when there used to be corporations, you would see, if you look at the 70s and 80s corporation, you would have engineering, you would have marketing, you would have financial guys, or you would have legal guys. कोई HR को नहीं पूछता. Now that has been turned around. ठीक है? Now I'm going to give you guys a very good formula of hiring. मेरा formula of hiring है. Because you're all engineers, is I squared EQ. I squared is integrity and intelligence. If it doesn't have integrity, then you don't want him very intelligent. If it doesn't have integrity, you don't want him very intelligent. That's the problem we are having. No integrity and very intelligent people. Then what is this EQ? What is intelligence? Intelligence, of course, degrees, qualifications, and all and whatnot. This is energy. Energizing. And edge. Does he have the energy? You hire a manager. If he has integrity, he has intelligence. Does he have the energy? Does he energize? Very important. Don't just get stuck up on this. I swear. These are the things which get you up there. Energy. Energizing. And what is edge? Edge is out of the box. Edge. You have a problem, बाहर जाके solve करने का. Not getting stopped at that. So please remember this formula. This is a good one, a very handy one. And next time when you assess people, assess them on that. So you have issues of HR. अब ये होता है कि HR is the first person the corporate people hire. Because without good HR, your company may turn into a dud. So you have to play very, very important emphasis on that. Therefore, this I square E cube is one of the formulas we use. I'm sure there is many others in your mind. So get as much knowledge about the person as you can, use that. Scaling up. This is another thing. You guys are startups. When you scale up, that's where the problems come in. That's where the human resource issues come in. That's where the financial issues come in. I'll give you an example of eBay. It was one of the few companies which never burned any cash. It was cash positive from day one. उसके पास बोरियां आती थी डॉलर्स की. He was by the way, I think he was a Persian guy. But he went to Sequoia Capital. He didn't need the money. But he went there and he gave 35% of eBay. Everybody thought he was crazy. He went there to Sequoia Capital, कि मुझे 35% आप पैसे भी डालें और 35% ले लें. Because he did not know how to scale it up. He did not need the money, but he needed the wherewithal of scaling up. He had the commitment. Sometimes we have the commitment, but we do not have the wherewithal to do that commitment. So that's the one. He did that, and eBay ko dekhe, and I'm once again, I don't mean to sing the song of my alumni, but वहाँ से भी Harvard Business School की एक थी, वो गई वहाँ पे, तो उसने उसको scale up करके इसको कर दिया. Competitive issues. Of course, you have to face them. You have to be better than the competition. And then you have the government of Pakistan and the business environment. This will always be there. So you have to play the cards which are given to you. You know, you cannot say that ये business environment अच्छी होती तो मैं ये कर लेता. I mean, whatever the cards are, you got to play. You know, and I've seen companies like Nike and all that. They went into these very, very difficult countries and made a success out of it. Bangladesh ke beech mein, udhar, they had absolutely no infrastructure. They went in there, they built them up. So that was something which they did. Any questions on this one? Now the question is, how will you achieve all this? I have a plan. This for you. And I always end my thing from this. You can read this. That's all I got. What questions are there? I'm not going to tell you where I got this from. Secret.
सर कुछ फाइनल वर्डिक्ट है, कुछ फाइनल वर्डिक्ट है, कंपनीज फॉर्म करें या ये इसी तरह से SBUs फॉर्म किए जाए?
Final verdict in my case.
सर
If I was you, which I am not, if I were you, I would forget about making 20 companies. Forget about it. Banish the thought. Go with one holding company and go with as many SKUs as you want.
Sir, my question is, why make holding company then? Let's just make one company with so many SKUs. Why do you have the status of holding?
होल्डिंग कंपनी का स्टेटस ऐसे होता है कि आपको पता होता है कि आप होल्ड करते हैं. If you call it holding company, usually any company can be a holding company. You call it a holding company. Power media holding company. What does it do? It gives you money. You have a project. And what does it take? It either gives you a loan, maybe a convertible loan, maybe equity. You know. I prefer power media holding. You know, I did some business with them. You know, they wanted to give you the loan and will also give you the equity. I said, no. You either give me the equity or you give me the loan. They said, why? Because I said, you can't be a lender and the owner at the same time. So, it could be a holding company, a big company, but you know, if you're going to make 20 companies, can you handle them? I mean, you know, filing requirements, you will have to have that. You can't do that.
But sir, what is the legal, for example, once we go to the SECP, so there are complete, legal cover and everything is there. No, we are not going to the sub-companies are the SBUs. So, what do you say, what is the legal cover, or legal coverage with the holding company, everything, and SBU is, basically it is
because subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
आपके जितने भी है ना, देखिए, हर एक SBU पे एक अपना उनका होगा, balance sheet होगी, finances different. लेकिन all of those things will be bunched together for the holding company and filed in SEC. बस कुछ नहीं होगा. आप उनके accounts की separate business करते हैं for performance purposes. You want to take a look at the performance of the thing.
But sir, the other thing. So, one thing I think that we are getting closer to that, because one thing I feel that in SBUs there is no board of directors.
Okay. There are none board.
There are none. So one big difference is this one. And the other one, because the SBU, because as we said, the SBU is also going to be financially independent on some aspects.
Financially independent.
I mean that
Operationally independent.
operationally, but financially, as we mentioned, they will be having some kind of maybe how much money they can spend or something like that. So some limitation in that. But will they be having their own the HR manager, their own finance manager, so that all their within that SBU they can manage everything?
If they require, अगर आपकी SBU इतनी small है, why don't they get the services of the holding company to get the people?
But SBU is not going to be small. SBU is going to be big.
If they are big, then they get the holding
But actually the vision of our the bosses, so that vision is that, for example, they just wanted there is a holding company. The holding company is basically a company which is a mother company, and now they are going to feed the small companies. But what they want is that all these small companies, they should grow up and they should become the bigger companies.
Once
All the companies should be the kind of bigger companies.
You have these SBUs now. Tomorrow, you say SBU 1 has become too big, or too big for our use. You spin it off. You have a spin off. Make it into a private limited company. Then spin it off. Why do you want to have so much problem in the beginning?
In the beginning. So that means for the beginning, I think this model is very good. Because for the beginning, we should not go for something so many.
In the beginning, उसके बाद आप spin offs कर सकते हैं, आप बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हैं. That's why I'm saying you have good people on your board. There should not be any problems now. You can spin off. Spin off करके spin in कर सकते हैं, spin off कर सकते हैं, spin in कर सकते हैं. You can do a lot of things. Nobody is stopping you from that.
अगर आपकी जो पेरेंट कंपनी है वो ZE का स्टेटस मिल जाता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली SBUs are already part of they're all ZEs.
जी अगर सेपरेट नहीं रहते ये क्वेश्चन कर लेंगे नहीं है
और टेक्नोलॉजी जोन
वही स्पेशल जोन पर
लेकिन उसमें तो फर्क पड़ेगा तो लीगल एंटिटी आपकी एक है लीगल एंटिटी वो ZE है बाकी तो ऑटोमेटिकली सारे ZE का आपको स्टेटस मिल गया ना आप अगर बता सकते हैं अगर सेपरेट कंपनी बनाएंगे तो फिर उसको भी ZE
ZE होगा और this guy would have to go achieve the status of full developer.
But I think, sir, if we look at the guidelines which have been given to us, so I think there can be, get in line with what the Saraswati is saying. Because the thing is, to start with, the guidelines says, to start with, we have to, go with the holding company, but in the end, the people should be having their something like that. So that means, to start with, I think, the name SBU is not written there, but I think with this talk, what we can propose is that to start with, I think we must go with the SBU so that all the legality and everything, we don't, get into that. And it's not, seems like, it's easy, and it is also giving lots of independence to the SBUs also. But the financial, definitely, the overall financial control is with them, and overall, so many controls are with the holding company. But even then, with the formation of a committee, as you mentioned, holding company have a committee where they can, to a certain level, they can decide the projects and they can, give to her.
Let's say you have got, let's say 20 SBUs. You can divide them into 4 parts. The committee number 1 will start with this, committee number 2 will start with this. So that, this committee can be very efficient in looking after the affairs of the SBU. What you want is efficiency and all. Another good thing is this that when you have SBU structure like this in a holding company, all the holding company can learn from each of the SBUs. So you don't have one SBU or both you will have more information coming in. The holding company will have more information. You won't have these silos which are independent.
Sir, I think if you have time, maybe sometime next week, we'd like to do more sort of in-depth sort of workshop on structuring it.
I always available to you pro bono. You sit over here and make your even control documents.
Yeah, what we can do is that we will make a kind of a structure and then we can discuss that.
So one thing regarding this, what is the most, अभी सर मैं इस हिसाब से देख रहा हूँ कि मैं चाइनीज मॉडल देख रहा था. चाइनीज मॉडल में कैटफिश इफेक्ट इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया है कैटफिश इफेक्ट. अगर आप देखेंगे उनकी जो प्रोप्राइटरीज हैं चाइनीज, टिपिकली नॉरेनको, कैटेक, CPMI से डिफरेंट, they were getting sluggish, bureaucratic sluggish. So what the Chinese government did was कि उन्होंने private industry को with the support of percentage of provincial governments, उन्होंने small companies launch करवा दी जो same products बना रहे हैं, more efficient, independent, smaller board of governors है और independent companies चलती हैं जो नरेंद्र के नीचे 10 products बन रहे थे जो कि अभी इसमें नजर आ रहा है ये हम बन जाएंगे वो एक ही कंपनी एक ही प्रोडक्ट लेके चलती है। तो कैटफिश इफेक्ट ये हुआ कि ये नॉर्वेजियंस का कॉन्सेप्ट था कि अगर वो ट्रॉलर से टूना पकड़ के ला रहे थे तो पीछे एक कैटफिश नेट के चला देते थे तो वो तेज चलती थी तो ट्रॉलर की स्पीड बढ़ जाती थी। इस वक्त हम ट्रॉलर ना बन जाएंगे अगर एक होल्डिंग कंपनी होगी और नीचे ज़्यादा से एसपीज होंगे तो फिर हमें एंड में फिर एक प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्री लानी पड़े जो कि इस ट्रॉलर को भगाने के लिए या हमें वो एनर्जी लाने के लिए करें। So my question is very clearly that this holding company with 10 SBUs would be very sluggish even if we make smaller parts. Keeping in view Ford's example, Ford is a sluggish company. So do you have any Japanese examples जहाँ पे हमें ये Toyota या Honda या उन कंपनी का पता चले?
अगर आप जापानीज behemoths को देखें, अब आप देखें, let's say you take Mitsui, or you take Mitsubishi, you know, how many divisions do they have? They have shipyard division, they have aeroplane division, they have this division. Mind you, I don't think there is any brakes put on that. अगर आप SPU करेंगे ना, अगर if it's a department, it could be there. But if you do an SPU का मतलब क्या है? Strategic business unit. Strategic business unit का मतलब ये है वो अपनी strategy बनाते हैं, वो अपनी product चीज़ को बनाते हैं. They are independent in everything they want to do for their product slate or for their business model. They are independent, and that's why this is not a business unit; it's a strategic business unit.
It's a strategic.
वो अपना खुद करते हैं.
The best definition should be very clear that it's a strategic, not small.
No,
it's not.
It could, and then after a while, if you feel that this particular overlay is not working, you know, you spin it off. There is seriously about you spin it off.
Financial viability जो है SPU ये खुद assess करेगा या खुद
ये तो आपको assess करके बताएगा. तो आपने वहाँ पे बैठना है, ठीक ना? ये तो आप किसी तरीके से भी चाहे अगर वो प्राइवेट कंपनी भी होगी, तो आप अगर उसको फंड कर रहे हैं तो आपके पास ही आएगी ना. बैठेंगे तो आपके पास ही आएगी, चाहे वो पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी होगी और आपसे पैसे ले रहे हैं तो आपको आगे अपना केस प्रेजेंट करेंगे कि मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, मेरे रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ये हैं, आप इतने पैसे इन्वेस्ट करें, वो तो फिर भी इधर ही आ जाएगा. तो इसमें कोई ऐसी बात नहीं, इसमें सिर्फ ये है कि आपका पेपर वर्क काम करता है. And you know this you got 20 here, 3 board of directors per we have 60 board of directors. Just imagine handling 60 board of directors. I mean, उसमें फिर वो बहुत ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा वो भी हो जाएगा situation and all. But you know these things can be क्या कहते हैं talked. These things can be further talked further. And once this whole thing comes to you in a paper form, maybe you will see a lot more refinements which can be made into that. But this concept has worked beautifully. General Electric has made it work. Big companies have made it work.
इसमें एक जरा बहुत ज़्यादा सुधार पैक कर दीजिएगा कि how about it, you know, the holding company, if the holding company is public owned private company, which may have difference?
Not, but it can be anything. एक public owned का मतलब क्या है?
Plus कर देगा,
इसको जरा कर दीजिए.
इसको plus कर देगा.
A public limited, let's talk about the companies. There is a single member company, there is a private limited, there is a public limited, non-quoted, and then there is a public limited, quoted. नॉन कोटेड में आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में नहीं गए, आपने अंडर राइटिंग किसी से करा दी है, वो अंडर राइटिंग फेल हो गई है तो आपने नॉन कोटेड ही रहे, बट यू आर अ पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी. पब्लिक लिमिटेड कोटेड इज चाहे वो इक्विटी में हो, चाहे वो बॉन्ड और डिबेंचर्स में हो, और सीडीज, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट्स और लोन्स, वो तो सारे लोग ले सकते हैं। सिर्फ इसमें पब्लिक आती है। जब पब्लिक आती है तो आप मारे जाते हैं, क्योंकि आप एक बल्ब भी नहीं दे सकते विदाउट कोटेशन। तो पब्लिक लिमिटेड को तो भूल, ठीक है। अगर आप पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी बनाना चाहते हैं तो आपकी कंपनी वैसे ही स्लगिश हो जाएगी। पब्लिक नॉन कोटेड के लिए आपकी कॉफी रिक्वायरमेंट है। पीपल गो विद प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। प्राइवेट लिमिटेड में है कि सारा प्राइवेट पैसा है बीच में।
लेकिन जो पब्लिक ओन प्राइवेट लिमिटेड वो क्यों?
पब्लिक ओन प्राइवेट में आपकी यू हैव अ डिफरेंट सिचुएशन। आपकी तो एयरफोर्स में है, यू हैव डिफरेंट सिचुएशन।
हमें अपने लिहाज से हम देखना चाह रहे थे कि इफ वी आर पब्लिक ओन प्राइवेट कंपनी,
पब्लिक ओन विद एयरफोर्स, पब्लिक इज जनरल पब्लिक।
एयरफोर्स को तो पब्लिक, अच्छा इसको पब्लिक नहीं लेके आएंगे, इसके अंदर जो एयरफोर्स जो है, जो एयरफोर्स मनी जो है वो पब्लिक मनी
Public money, but Air Force is, they have put up this thing. Maybe you put it through Air Force Foundation. वो it's a different situation.
ये प्राइवेट कंपनी होगी ये
वो Air Force Foundation will be considered private money. 40 Foundation is considered private money, not public.
So public would be
If you have to go shares, if I
GW and let's say we already registered है ना,
This is
क्या है?
sir, लेकिन stock exchange
Private listed private
आपने
public sector company declare नहीं करवाया।
तो ठीक होगी
आपने पब्लिक सेक्टर में डिक्लेयर करवाना
नहीं सर,
माना जाएगा।
it is private.
प्राइवेट, तो ये अपनी बात अच्छी होगी, इसको तो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है। तो अब जो अगली बात होगी जो हसन साहब बता रहे हैं कि प्राइवेट लिमिटेड को हमने उसको होल्डिंग कंपनी डिक्लेयर कर दिया।
प्राइवेट लिमिटेड की जरूरत नहीं, मेरी कंपनी में निकलूँ।
नहीं, आप कह रहे थे होल्डिंग कंपनी जो मेंशन करवाएं उसको
अगर करवा रहे हैं अच्छी बात है, there is not a problem with private limited and holding company। उसको उसमें memorandum of association memorandum of association में holding है। memorandum of association को जितना बड़ा बना सकते हैं उसको बना दे, उसमें वो आपको कदर कर दे। But this is what is happening।
तो will be in the second vertical जो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है।
This is what you want।
हम इसी में से अभी एसपी हम इसमें से निकालेंगे।
इसमें से और जब भी आप चाहेंगे उनको आप स्पिन ऑफ कर लेंगे, स्पिन इन कर लेंगे, स्पिन ऑफ कर लेंगे, व्हाटएवर। जी सर।
What is the difference between a company and a corporation?
Actually, it's a business and a corporation. Let's say I've got business A, business B, business C, business D. ठीक है? And let's say that these are all क्या कहते हैं companies, businesses. जैसे SBUs हैं। अब जो business की क्या कहते हैं strategy है ना, वो उस पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर के लिए है, ठीक है ना। बी का सेक्टर डिफरेंट है, सी का सेक्टर डिफरेंट है। नाउ व्हाट इज अ कॉर्पोरेट? कॉर्पोरेट इज owning these companies. Corporate doesn't have a business. Corporate has these four businesses. Corporate becomes a resource allocator. Corporate finance is different than business finance. The true finance is business finance. Corporate finance is how you allocate money to these things. Now, let me put it like this. Let's say I draw you a matrix. ये है high growth, low growth. High growth industry, low growth industry. क्या कहते हैं आपका इसमें जो मार्केट शेयर है, हाई मार्केट शेयर, लो मार्केट शेयर, ठीक है। लेट्स से कंपनी ए इज इन हाई ग्रोथ, हाई मार्केट शेयर, ठीक है। कंपनी बी इज इन लो मार्केट शेयर बट हाई ग्रोथ। कंपनी सी इज इन लो ग्रोथ बट हाई मार्केट शेयर। get rid of it. That will be your corporate decision. Business decision of these is going to be different. You are a corporate now allocator. You know that you are high margin, high growth, high market share, high growth. This is going to be your future. So you are going to invest a lot in there. This is positive. यहाँ पे आपका low market और high growth industry में low market share. You may invest or you may not invest. So that is going to be another decision. You have low growth but high market share. This is your cash cow. So you want to milk it as much as you can. Now you see the corporate decisions versus business decisions. Right?
So with this evidence of
By corporate finance, I'll have to go into capital asset pricing model, but anyway, आपकी बात बताएं.
Sir, my point is, if instead of simply going for a private enterprise, we go towards this model, so from the business strategic aspect, it gives you more flexibility and freedom.
कौन सी?
Making a corporation.
This is a corporation. This is a corporate now. And SPU is a business. This is a corporate. Any private limited company can be a corporate or a business.
Should we mention, for example,
No.
we don't need to
Don't
we don't need to register it as a
No. It's a corporate or it's a business. So whenever you talk about corporate finance,
So sorry to cut you, sir, but the tricky part in the aerospace industry, each technology becomes a separate business.
separate business.
Each technology.
This is
Even in the one set of technology,
Huh?
in one set of product,
Huh?
there are 3-4 different technologies involved.
Fine.
Each technology becomes a separate business.
Fine, make them different businesses.
Okay.
हाँ, अच्छा अब उसको आप ग्रुप कर सकते हैं बाय थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी. ये ग्रुप है टेक्नोलॉजी, इस टेक्नोलॉजी ए का उसमें कर लिया. जैसे होंडा मोटर कंपनी. होंडा मोटर कंपनीज मेन स्ट्रेंथ वाज engines. They made engines very beautiful. You know, they're very efficient engines. And that's what they leveraged and made the motorbike first, and then they made the car. I recall in Stanford Graduate School, Honda Motor Company's president came, and he was very arrogant, and he said 2 sentences. Okay, Honda Motor Company has 60,000 employees, General Motor has 500,000 employees, we will bury General Motors. You know, that's it. So then he asked me questions. Everybody, you know, the Americans, they got so upset, they wanted to throw him out. So they asked him, could you explain? He says, look, General Motors has 500,000 employees and they have 25,000 managers. We have 60,000 employees and all of them participate in management. 60,000 is greater than 25,000, therefore we will tell you. I mean, I wasn't going to say that. This argument. So, I mean, you can have these arguments. और आपका कोई question? Anything else? I hope this has been useful.
Sir, makes sense.
But I guess next week also I think we need to sit together again because
I'm more than happy.
with all the inputs we will sit together again and then we'll see and
So we need is pro bono time.
I am here pro bono anytime. Just look, I am here pro bono for you. Anytime I would like it to be a success. And the asal is, we have just turned around Sir Syed Memorial Society. Asal must have told you that. Sir Syed Memorial Society was going down the tubes, you know. And we have turned it around, and that will become, inshallah, the cultural hub of Islamabad. And we've got some wonderful stuff over there. So I'm here anytime. You can call me on the board of meetings, whatever, wherever you want me to. I'm here.
So thank you so much. And we are going to be giving the expertise at the time. There are a lot of questions that we have.
Please do it.
बहुत सारा जो
आपको आज जब आगे भी जाएंगे ना, there will be obstacles and all that going on. So you would need advice on how to go over them and
part of the solution. And we want to put it together and then market it. Sure. So वहाँ पे equity sharing या अगर IP को develop होती है उसको कैसे share करना है? इस तरह के सवाल होंगे तो ज़्यादा difficult things हैं.
I'll be always there for you. You can call me anytime.
Aziz sir is, I think the introduction to me, he is like he said, he's got more experience than he looks like. Intel के जो शुरू के patents हैं, he's a member of some of those patents. The Intel was coming up, and then he's also been to Harvard with the student, and then he runs his own businesses also. He's worked a lot in the oil and refinery industry in Pakistan.
Now I'm with the China Institute of Mechanical. I'll be partner with that. But I'm more or less now working more on Nali Foundation. We are teaching about 3,000 to 5,000 students in Balochistan. Remote areas. We have been given a place in Kharan, a technical educational center. And you know a gentleman by the name of Junaid Zaid, who put up ComSat. He's also my partner in that. So we, inshallah, try to make it to one of the highest Asian institutes, technical institutes in Balochistan. And then Sir Sayyid, we have been able to get virtual university. You know, virtual university is 150,000 students on the road, by the way. Virtual university is one of the finest things which is happening to Pakistan. And they are in the basement of our building, Sir Sayyid Memorial Society. And we are building this thing up. So this all these things. So
And he's been instrumental in running it around. हमको bystanders and ज़्यादा. He's the one who's really done most of the job.
So हमें क्या जो भी काम कहेंगे इस किस्म का काम कहेंगे वो और I work for this
very clear. I think we are much more educated after this talk, and there are so many decisions that we are going to take, and with your input, I think that we are going to revisit everything, and that's why, as the Air Marshal said, that next week again we would request your presence for some time, because we would like to revisit and then again sit together and then again sit together with you and see that whatever we are again changing, so is it aligned with the model which is there in your mind. So I think that then we will be having much more interactions.
That will be fine. Anytime you require me, time.
Well, we just have a small, everyone comes here, we give him a space shuttle. Space shuttle. So if he remembers us, visit this place. We just ask him to get a space shuttle.
They get a space shuttle here, it takes time.
I can have it next time. No problem. I'll have a couple.
India is there just on the, we have heard, it was not, might not be actual thing, but they have created all that thing, it is there, but now they are not willing to share the data. So now we think, he was there or not, but our space shuttle is there.
So, meanwhile,